Hello, everybody. I'm your host. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And tonight, we're going to talk about why you need to be wealthy and how you do it. It's not why you need to be wealthy, it's also how you do it. And we're going to look at a few of the instances of who we consider wealthy, and then you'll see a trend. And welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. Right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know who you're going to be able to help. And I greatly appreciate it once again that you smash that like button. That would be greatly appreciated. And during the course of this live stream, if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. That would be appreciated as well. Let me see who's in the house tonight. It looks like Little Family is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says, hey, I say, hey, hello, how you doing? And he says, Eric, in the next line. Thank you so much for being here, Little Family. Well, I'm going to get right into it quick and early. But first, I have to do a public service announcement because we have entrepreneurs in the house. So we'll get with that in a second. But we have George's Charles is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he has the icon next to his name. And he says, I smell money. He's exactly right. He smells money. And what's he doing to make sure he gets that money? It takes a little work, a little effort. You're going to have to put in the work, ladies and gentlemen. That's part of the wealth curve. And if you want to be there, then you got to be there. Hey, I saw the message as well. Little Family, thank you so much. That's one person that's seen it this evening. I appreciate that. And George's Charles says it's money time. Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's money time. We have to talk about it. That's why it's called SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says, let's do it as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we're going to get into this real quick because I want to put it this way. We have our own entrepreneur. You know, I got to show some love in the house. So we have Professor Auntie Val. She has started, her and her family has started the Beachfront Java. And I want to just reiterate, all of you who have ordered Beachfront Java already, and then you reorder, you get 10% off for life. If you haven't ordered, then I would suggest you go over to Beachfront Java and get yourself some coffee from our very own Professor Auntie Val. And you put in the notes that you're part of the SSN Nation. You will not get the 10% off the first time you order, but every time thereafter, once you're designated as the SSN Nation Familia, then you will receive 10% off on all reorders for life. And that's right. It's not just any old coffee. It's premium blends, ladies and gentlemen. Africa, Indonesia, Guatemala, Peru, Honduras. All right. So those are some of the places. And it's in drip ground, fine ground, and whole beans in different pounds of bags, and Ziploc bagged, and free shipping in the United States. That's right. So all of that's included, plus some merch, plus some K-Cups. It's all there. Go show some love for Beachfront Java and Professor Auntie Val. Go show some love. All right. Little Family says, hey, at George Charles, showing some love. Georges Charles says, hey, little family. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you something, because it's very, very interesting when a lot of people are out here finally realizing, and I should say a large majority of people now are starting to realize how the economic system and environment works in America. And people are starting to realize they may not be able to make this work for 20 to 30 years out without increasing their wealth or increasing their passive income or increasing their businesses, because the price of everything is going to go up over time. There's just no way around it. So when we start talking about wealth, what I want to do is first, I'm going to show you, and most people may know these names. I'm going to show you on the screen here what I'm talking about. Because what are we going to do? I'm going to one of my favorite places, Investopedia, the top 10 richest people in the world. Now, I don't know how current this is, but for our purposes, it does not really matter. They have Elon Musk at number 1. Notice, worth 234 billion. Ownership stake in Tesla. Tesla is a company. Twitter ownership stake, that's a company. Those two combined is 116 billion. Then he has these other assets, space exploration technologies, the Boring Company. Notice 48 billion, 3 billion. Notice these are companies. All right. And these are individuals, by the way. It's not companies, it's individuals. Bernard Arnault, LVMUY, you've heard of Louis Vuitton, you've heard of Coach, you've heard of all these high-end luxury brands, Hennessy, things like this. Guess who owns them? LVMUH. And guess who owns it? This man, CEO and chairman, $200 billion. Christian Dior is one of his stakes under the LVMUY or LVMH, 156 billion. Notice other assets, Moelis company equity, 32 billion, 12.8 billion in cash. Again, notice companies, ladies and gentlemen. Number 2, number 3, Bezos. Everybody knows him from Amazon. 154 billion, 129 billion ownership stake in Amazon, plus Washington Post, plus Koru. All right. Companies, ladies and gentlemen. Are you getting a trend? That's number 4, Microsoft. Look at Bill Gates. We know who he is. MSFT, Microsoft. He's in there. I'm going to go a little faster. Larry Ellison, he owns Oracle. 99 billion for Oracle. Tesla equity, because he invests with his buddy Elon. So he's in on Tesla. He's in on Twitter. He's in on Oracle. Chairman, CEO, founder. All right. You guys getting a trend yet? Steve Ballmer. Guess what? He was with Microsoft, I believe it was. Microsoft ownership stake, 4%, 109 billion. He owns the Clippers, which is a whole nother. He owns Intuit Dome, 2 billion. Look at that. Notice anything yet? Warren Buffett. Here's the guy that says, you know what? I'm going to invest in businesses, buy their shares, and I'm riding with them because they produce something. And look where he's at. Number 7 on the list. 92 years old, by the way. Great. Berkshire Hathaway, 14%, $113 billion. What are we talking about? You guys getting this? Larry Page, co-founder of Google, 110 billion. Other assets, 15.8. We won't get into the other assets. Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, 104 billion. This is what you call wealthy, ladies and gentlemen, right? Meta Platforms ownership, you know, he's Facebook, and he owns other companies like now the Threads. You know, he has an expansive empire as well. Sergey Brin, co-founder, Google, 104. Those are the top 10 guys. All right. Now that we've established this situation, now you understand why here in the SSN Nation, we've always talked about starting your own business, right? You do understand there's a correlation. You are founder, you are co-owner, you are co-founders, you start an empire with an asset. What is that asset? Well, see, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be the Microsoft, the Oracles, the Googles. It doesn't have to be tech at all. but just one asset, and you build upon another asset that pay you. It's a business. So here we have Georges Charles in the house, who has done the unthinkable. He has bought 4 properties in the Dominican Republic, and he might even be doing 5. But the point I'm trying to make is those are in essence 4 assets that he has purchased, which actually, when you put them together, he's a conglomerate now. So now those are assets, and when their values increase into the millions of dollars, because they will be worth millions of dollars in less than 3 years, that means his wealth has increased into millions of dollars. Now all he has to do is have the revenue from that, and instead of wasting it like early successful entrepreneurs will be doing, he's going to say, you know what? I'm actually going to reinvest 75% of that. That's right. Notice I gave a specific number. How about 75% of it, of your profits, you reinvest into buying other assets? And then guess what happens after you do that? Another year and another year, you're buying assets, and now your wealth grows. Does that sound simple enough? I use the simplest form when we're talking about no credit check, no qualifying real estate. It doesn't have to be Dominican Republic. It could be Miami. It can be Thailand. It can be Philippines. It could be Southwest Florida. How about that? It could be anywhere, but it has to be an asset, and you change it into a business platform. And you notice the wealthiest top 10, they have businesses. That means they turned it into a stock play as well. The value of their stock creates a value for their company. You got to love it. You can do the same thing as well. So let me play this out for you, since I've been using Georges Charles' beautiful plan. He has 4 properties. He uses 75% of those properties, and he says, you know what? I'm going to buy another property with 75% of that. Now he has 5 properties. You know what he could do? He could call up any lawyer in the DR, but hopefully he deals with my man Johan, but maybe he won't. But you go say, I want an offshore company, and I want these under the offshore company. He has revenues coming in. He could actually change his company and create enterprises in the United States as a holding company, have these properties separately under another holding company offshore. He could, in theory, go to Delaware, create a C corporation, and then he could apply to do an IPO, because he may have hundreds of thousands of dollars annually coming in. Profit already set up, and he could say, you know what? I'm going to do this around the world. So who's going to invest in this company? I'm going to put shares up on the stock market. See, this is how you would create your wealth, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I simplified it for you, but that's literally how it could be done. All right? Just giving you some ideas. You could start your own business like Professor Auntie Val. I put in the chat room the Beachfront Java link in case anybody wants to go use that to go order. I forgot to mention that. But it's the same thing. She started Beachfront Java. She could actually grow this into a huge empire. Then she could turn around and say, hey, you know what? I want to put it on Wall Street, sell some stocks. She can do anything she wants, but she can actually turn it into a franchise environment also and do it that way. There's several different ways that she can do it. E. White is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He has the icon next to his name. Thank you so much for that, A. White. And he says, good evening, movers and shakers. That's right. You're one of them. I received the SSN notification. Thank you so much for letting me know. That is 3 people that have seen the notification or received the notification this evening. I appreciate that. And E. White's also one of these entrepreneurs out here trying to make things happen. He's saying, let me build my empire. Now, why you need to be wealthy? A lot of people may still not understand why you need to be wealthy. You want to know why? Let's try this. I will be making a video tomorrow about this, but let's try this. Did you know home prices the last 20 years, the home prices every 7 to 10 years has increased nearly 100%? Something that used to cost 150 costs 300. Something that used to cost 300 costs like almost 500 every 10 years. Now, a home makes it easy for us to understand the price increases. But what you may not really understand because you're living in real time. So it doesn't seem like you know that home prices went up the last 3 or 4 years. But then you get immune to it and you don't realize it goes up another 10%. And it's just like, oh, it's just another 10% or another 5%. So it doesn't seem like it went up because now it's 2 or 3 or 4 years later. And you're like, yeah, that's about right because there's inflation. But in reality, it's costing you more money to buy in the future. So that's why you need to buy your wealthy items sooner than later. You can buy them later, but it's going to cost you more. And also, the wealth factor dwindles even lower. Remember, a long time ago, $1 million used to be like the standard. That all started like 40 years ago. It used to be, wow, if you're a millionaire, you're doing something. Well, yeah, you're doing something when homes are $11,000, right? You're like, when homes are $11,000, when food is still under $1 for most items, you really were doing something. But when homes are 40 times that amount, but yet wage and earnings are not 40 times their amount from 1970. Because if they were, people would be making $100 an hour, over $100 an hour. All right, just to give you an idea, minimum wage was like $3 and something in the 70s until they raised it. So how is it that people aren't making 40 times the number, but you're buying homes, you're paying for groceries 40 to 50 to hundreds of times more than what it cost in 1970s? And you expect that's not going to change? Well, that's why we talk about this on Money Making Mondays, because we give you outs for this. Starting your own business. Why do you want to start your own business? Because I just showed you the top 10 people in the wealthiest top 10 people. Guess what? They own businesses. You want to know something else? Start taking away the top 10 individuals. Change it into what are the top sectors that create a billionaire? And guess what's number one? Guess what? It's not businesses. It's not real estate either. But it's in the same sector as businesses that has to do with finance. Finance is number one for the billionaires. Number one. Well, clearly, if you're a billionaire, you're wealthy. We don't need to get to billionaire status for you to be wealthy. All right? We need you to be able to be wealthy, meaning you have assets that pays you to do whatever you want to do. And you have enough of them and you keep growing them. You're not out here blowing them on freaking Lambos, yachts, all that stuff prematurely. You're actually saying, you know what? Okay, I'm worth 1.5 million. Good. But now I'm worth 3 million. Good. Now I'm worth 5. Good. Because you have to do it in this era, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, because this next era over in the 2020s, it's going to be the roaring 20s, just like 100 years ago. At the end of the roaring 20s in the 1920s, you guys all know what happened. It was the Great Depression. They still haven't fixed what happened in 2008 and 9 and 10 under the Great Recession. They just have been manipulating the system ever since. But sooner or later, this is going to crumble down just like a Great Depression. It hasn't happened. The Federal Reserve, the United States government, and governments around the world, they faked this all out. They've been doing one hell of a job, ladies and gentlemen, being able to print unlimited supplies of money, being able to manipulate interest rates, being able to bail out certain sectors of businesses and corporations. They've all done it all. They've bent over backwards, but you're not going to be saved. That's why we have to have this wealth talk, ladies and gentlemen. Georges Charles says, wow. And then he says also, now that's rich. Exactly. And Blade, as Kona's in the house, he's achieving his wealth curve as well. He's here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. We have another mover and shaker in the house. He's doing the damn thing. He's already done it, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? Just that description that I just described, Blade as Conan Familia is doing it as well. Put together a corporation, put their assets under the corporation, getting revenue numbers coming in, and they're making it happen for their dream. And they have to, hey, it's hard work, ladies and gentlemen. It's not easy. You're going to have to make decisions. You're going to need a little help along the way, but he's already set the path that can make it happen. Now, if he can just get through what he needs to get through, and bingo, the wealth curve opens wide up, And now you have assets. Now you have the ability to borrow against your assets to go buy more assets. And you have revenue coming in that you can save 75% of that money, buy some more assets, and say, you know what, I'm going to live frugal. You know, like the billionaire in Mexico, by the way, the most wealthiest person in Mexico. He lives on, get this, the wealthiest person in Mexico is not on the top 10 list, but he's in the top 50. He's in the top 20 list. And get this, he gets paid $24,000 per month. He takes a salary from his billionaire companies. He owns several: oil, gas, luxury. And he says, no, he came from humble beginnings. He goes, I've seen this play out. Just send me $24,000 annually per month, 260,000 a year. I don't really care. I already have my house that I lived in, that I bought when I made my first millions. I bought this nice house. It's big enough, 7, 8, 9, 10 bedrooms or whatever. I don't need another house. He acts like Warren Buffett, kind of. I don't need another house. I've had this house for 20 years, 25 years. Yes, I'm a billionaire. Just send me my 24,000. We're investing everything else. We're buying more assets. Are you guys getting the playbook yet? This is very, very simple, but here's the playbook. The reason why we can't get to that playbook is because we don't have that luxury, right? We don't have that luxury at all. And I'm going to show you why you don't have it. That's power, Eric. I'm acquiring assets. You were right. Exactly, Georges Charles. I know how this goes. This is how we do it. Thank you so much for mentioning that, because I love Eric. Buy, love it, Eric. Buy assets. Thank you so much. Now, we're going to get into something else, because we're not going to make it that easy for you, because I'm going to show you this is one of those reasons why it's very difficult for people to do it. I'm going to show you exactly why I had to do this subject matter like I've done several times over the years, and people are still not catching it, because you don't know how long you're going to have your income levels. You don't know when it's going to drop off. Just like right now, what's happened with my Airbnbs, 70% is gone, because in some of the areas that there's a lot of tourists, or it's basically still have tourists. The problem, though, is a lot of people can't afford to go out there. So less traffic for tourism mean less people on the Airbnb platform. Meanwhile, over the last 10 years, well, actually 11 years, Airbnb has more hosts in the millions. When there used to only be like a few thousand, now there's millions of hosts. And in a city, instead of there used to be like maybe 100 to 200 to 400 or 500, now there's thousands. So now what has to happen? Just like anything, if you're not renting something, you reduce your amount that you're going to rent for, right? It's very sensible. But during any time that you have 60% of your population who's living paycheck to paycheck, you're going to have a pullback on travel. The only people that's going to be traveling is generally those that have disposable income. Those that have disposable income, guess what? They're going to stay in different locations. They're going to stay in a little more upscale locations generally, because they get treated like gold. There's nothing wrong with that. But here, I'm going to show you something right now so you guys understand you're not built for this. So you have to have a little direction. You have to have a little heart to heart. You have to have Mr. Cold Hard Facts on your side. I got to give it to you like it is. Look at this on the screen right here. So there's all kind of people who go, hey, I'm not built to have my own companies or create my own companies. But look at what I put in here. How to become wealthy. Look at this. The 5 fastest ways to become rich according to experts. This is Google. According to some experts, is avoid and pay down debt. Look at this. Debt is not necessarily bad in all instances. You guys know what that is, but it is something to be avoided most of the time. Now, remember our good debt and bad debt. The bad debt is using your debt or creating debt to buy liabilities. All right. We don't want to do that. It's pretty simple. What you want to do is buy assets with debt. And I wish this would be when you're 18 years old that they told you to use your good credit to buy a duplex, or some real estate that is more than a single family home. So that way you will always be able to have revenue coming in without you working. So sure, you're going to be 18, 19, 20. You can go do what you want to do. But at the same time, it would be awfully nice if you had an extra check coming in that you didn't have to worry about and a place to live where you could always come back to. And in fact, you could rent out both places. And now you're in college doing what you need to do. Too bad that's not the American dream, because that would be a whole different ball game. Everybody would be a lot better off if they were taught to be like 18, go get a duplex or a threeplex or a fourplex or whatever you can get, but make sure it's multifamily. And then use that money to go to college. That would be a better playbook, but they don't want to do that. They want to give you this stuff like, we're going to be in debt. So avoid debt is the first thing they say on this list. They're telling you you're going to be in debt before they tell you how to get wealthy. Then spend intentionally and minimize costs. Okay, but again, is this some sort of playbook? I'm like, everybody knows not to spend as much, but unfortunately you have to, because the cost of living rises every year. It does not go down. Now, invest as much as possible in the diversified portfolio. Again, they're telling you what's a diversified portfolio. They're not helping you out with that definition. That generally means to most people, oh, yeah, I'm going to invest in the stock market and I'm going to diversify it by investing in oil companies and maybe Walmart, and maybe I'm going to invest in banks and things like that. Or maybe it means I'm going to go down and get a mutual fund or go buy an index fund, or maybe it means I'm going to go buy a treasury bond. This does not actually explain it very well, but it's telling you invest as much money as possible of your hard-earned money into a diversified portfolio. And generally, you're not a manager of funds. So generally, you're going to put your money into an index fund, a stock, or something like that, which means it's out of your hands at that point. You're believing in the company that they're going to generate some revenue or dividends or income for you, or the stock price is going to go up. But why couldn't it say invest as much as possible in a diversified portfolio, such as real estate, like we're talking about, multifamily, the simplest thing, right? Why wouldn't it just say that straight out? Just what I said. Because that would get you money in the door as soon as you own it and you have passive income coming in. That makes your life easier from the get-go. Work on your career. This is what I was saying. You're going to have knowledge. You're going to have to learn along the way. You can't be a dummy. Those guys on the top 10 list, none of them are dummies. None of them are uneducated. Some people would say, hey, Eric, all these guys didn't go to college or didn't finish college or did this and that and the other. It doesn't matter if you go to college or not. It matters. The reason why you went to college was so you gain knowledge. Whether you gain knowledge in college, whether you're going to college, sitting in classrooms and not pay for college and go buy the books yourself, but you're not actually paid to be in the class, but you open the door up, there's an auditorium, you sit in on the professor and you show up every week for 6 months or every week for 3 months, whenever there's class, guess what? You're going to learn for free. You just ain't going to get a grade and you're not going to get a diploma, right? But you'll learn. You have to learn, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to be wealthy, you're going to have to learn. You can't sit out here and sit up there and be like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to wing it. Sure, you can wing it, but you're going to have to learn, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple. All right, here we go. Let's keep moving. George's Charles says, use the profits to buy more assets. That is the idea. Victor Marrero is in the house, another entrepreneur who did the damn thing early in life as well. And he's here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He has the icon next to his name. I thank you so much for being here, Victor Marrero. Very nice to see you once again. And he brings his tagline this evening. He says, hello, all. Let's do this. And that's what we do. He understands the power of passive income. He, too, used real estate as his vehicle to getting out. And he also did his career at the same time. It afforded him to be able to relax while he's doing his career because he knows he has passive income coming in from his multitude of investments. Diversified portfolio, real estate, stock market, and whatever else. So that gives you an idea. That's how you're building wealth. But You cannot sit here and go, oh, you know what? Eric told me about this 3 years ago. Because what I'm telling you in 2023, I'm still going to be around in 2026. And unfortunately, the party, the roaring 20s will probably be full on. And if you didn't already position yourself to have some assets or start your business and create some business environment so you have wealth potential, you're going to be left behind because the cost of living will rise dramatically. You will be paying another 20 to 50% from what you're paying right now. So how are you going to get an extra 20 to 50% out of your job? You're not. Don't expect that. You should expect almost like layoff time. All right. You should not be expecting to get paid an extra 20 to 50% by 3 years from now. The odds of that occurring is very slim. But if you have assets, you could get paid an extra 20 to 30% because the cost of living increases. So people say, if I want to do this, I'm going to pay a little bit extra. I understand that. So you get to play in that field. But the only way you can do that is you can be like the rest of the guys on our top 10 list. They own businesses. Brian P. is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He has the icon next to his name. Another investor entrepreneur is here. And he says, hello, Eric. I hope all is well with you. Yes, it is. Thank you so much. Hope all is well with you and the family. And he says, hello, SSN family. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Brian P. Very, very happy to see you on this Monday. You could be anywhere as well. George's Charles, Victor Marrero, what's up, bro? All right. I got the notification and trailer from Brian P. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know. If anybody has saw the trailer, received the YouTube notification, let me know. Everybody on podcast, everybody on the YouTube channel, make sure you smash the like button because, you know, YouTube oftentimes doesn't share the videos, don't like to tell people about these. I got the notification and trailer. We're up to 6 people that has received the notification and trailer. Thank you so much, Brian P. Victor Marrero says, George's Charles, good buddy and you. Right on. And look here, I love Mondays. It's Money Making Monday, and Jawway J, another entrepreneur investor, is here as well with the icon next to his name. We're talking about why you need to be wealthy. He started his path to be wealthy as well. You gotta love that. He says, hello, SSN Nation. Jawway J, once again, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon. And he says, hope everyone is doing well. Thank you. Hope you are as well. Received a notification and trailer. That's 7 people, ladies and gentlemen, from our favorite person. Did anybody saw that trailer? She says hello to the SSN Nation. That's right. You can find her on News Nation Now. That's right. News Nation Now. She's on there mornings. You'll see her. All right. She's there. All right. Let's talk about this. We are here. Brian P. Hey, Eric, I'm celebrating tonight. I paid my car off. Congratulations, Brian P. That's exactly what you need to do. No more car payments. And guess what? That car payment now needs to be allocated. Oh, you did the damn thing. Now you can allocate money to buying assets. With that same money, divert it to assets only that give you a return on your money. You'll be very happy in 2 or 3 years. The roaring 20s will be in full effect. All right, here we go. Wash hands, elbow. You got this. Right on, man. Way to go. Great job. And the object of the game is not go out and buy more liabilities. Great job. I'm getting ready to buy more assets. There we go. I love to hear this, Brian P. Because once again, my list that I showed earlier, in case everybody missed it, I like using Google because it's not a cut and dry thing. They don't like telling ordinary citizens how to become wealthy. They don't like to do that. Not at all. It's crazy when you really think about it. You would think there'd be like a set playbook. You would think, right? You'd be like, hey, if you want to be like these guys, this is what the trend, all of them did this. The majority of these guys did this. They don't want to just come out here and tell us, which I find fascinating. Fascinating with all the correlations, with everything you can look at. And then I put in how to create wealth, which I've been talking about for the last 30 minutes. Look at this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a look at some steps that might take as part of wealth building strategy. Look at the number 1. I put in how to create wealth in Google, and this is what they give us as number 1. Understand net worth. I'm just like, is this for real? I'm like, how to create wealth. That's kind of specific to me. I'm looking for some instruction, some playbook, but they're starting it off with understand net worth. Okay, we can go with net worth. Assets minus liabilities equals net worth. Simple equation. All right. That's not too hard. Set financial goals. Okay, what does this mean? I'm sitting here saying how to create wealth. I'm saying I want to be wealthy. That's my goal. This is standard. Just like people say I want to be rich. People say I want to live comfortably. People say I want to be happy. Those are setting goals, financial goals. Earn income. Okay, look, what's this earn income mean? You guys know I have a pet peeve about this. This is why I started this channel, because this is not explaining anything. Earn income. Everybody associates earn income with a job. Let's just call it what it is. We can't blame anybody. This is how our society has always been. Go to school, get a job. You'll earn 3 to 4 times as much more than somebody who doesn't get an education or doesn't get a degree. All right, fine. But you're not telling me how to earn the income other than earn income working for somebody else. Working for somebody else, you'll never get paid what you're worth. You only get paid what you're worth when you work for yourself and when you have your own assets, because then you dictate what you get paid. All right, it's pretty simple. You're going to pay your dues over a course of time when you work for somebody else, because you're going to get paid according to, hey, Eric, we're doing a 3% increase this year. Then the following year, hey, we had a rough year. There's no bonuses during Christmas. And oh, by the way, no salary wage increase this year. It's kind of rough out here. There's a pandemic. In fact, you're lucky we didn't lay you off. The following year, oh man, we're not really coming back fast enough. Supply chain disorder in 2022. So we got to lay a few people off. We can't give you another cost of living increase again. So now it costs me 20% more, but I still get paid the same amount of money. We have a problem on our earned income, ladies and gentlemen. Save money automatically. Okay, look, again, the save money automatically, pay yourself first. How about 75% if you can do it? 75% savings if you can do it. Try that, ladies and gentlemen. That will be the challenge for the rest of the year. Try to save 75%. Spend money consciously. Okay, how is this going to be a thing? If it cost me 20% more from 2 years ago, how am I supposed to spend money consciously when I got to buy those same items that I was buying 2 years ago and it's costing me 20% more? I can't consciously pay less, so I have to spend more. When my real estate taxes go up, my insurance premium goes up, I have to pay more. I don't get to just spend consciously. But again, I digress. This isn't telling me how to create wealth. Pay off high interest debt. You're assuming I'm already in debt. Okay, that's understandable, but we shouldn't. That's a standard issue. In order to create wealth, we have to have more money coming in. Build an emergency fund. Okay, great. We have an emergency fund, but this doesn't tell me how to create wealth. Invest in your savings. Okay, how long is it going to take us? Anybody want to take a stab at this? This is serious, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're dealing with Google. This is why people have a hard time becoming wealthy, because you're getting information like this off of Google. And I got to say, there's people here in these YouTube streets claiming this is how you get rich in 10 days. This is how you get rich by just giving me $10,000 and I'll create a website for you. Or how they do it now, give me $10,000, I'll create an Amazon course for you. Or give me $10,000 and I'll do your Airbnb for you. I'll create that for you. But give me $10,000 for it. Give me $3,000 for it. Give me $15,000. Give me $20,000 for it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. It doesn't make any sense, because they're not making money doing what they're telling you that they're going to help you with. They're making money off of that $5, $10, $15, $20,000 that you're giving them. And then they're leaving you out to dry because they realize there's an oversaturation in the markets, but you don't, because you haven't been doing it. You're thinking, oh yeah, Airbnb's all the rage. Short-term rentals, all the rage. I keep hearing all about it. But you don't know the ship is pretty much sailed on a lot of locations, because there's now millions of people in a certain small radius that are using short-term rental platforms. And then you have cities cracking down, creating licenses and making you change it into a business from the start. saying things like in Palm Springs, San Bernardino County, saying things like, hey, you can only do like X amount of days annually, or they're even doing crazy stuff like you can do 4 short-term rentals a year. What kind of, this is crazy. That'll stop you in your tracks real fast. So this is why it's not just wide open like it used to be. You have to be strategic when you're using Airbnb. So when somebody's out there, all of a sudden, everybody used to remember, everybody was going to the, hey, I'll do your Amazon FBA for you. Give me 40 grand, because they knew the gig was up. There's so much competition that they were like, hold on, I can't make profits like I used to. Why don't I just teach somebody or create a web page for them? And then I got paid up front and they're on their own. So those are the things. So that's why when we have this on the screen, like I'm showing you, it's disgusting because they're not telling you really anything other than using your earned income money to actually do this. Invest in your savings, build an emergency fund, pay off your debt. That's standard issue. That's like Dave Ramsey stuff. That's standard issue. So where is the part about me getting a business started or buying a business? Where's the part about doing it from scratch? Like, where's the part about you can create wealth by having an intellectual property? Because now you can be on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and promote things and get paid. Why isn't that on the list? You can start a podcast now and turn it into millions of dollars and create a wealth from that with microphones that might cost you $300-400, or a microphone that might cost you $5. Because I was illustrating for the first, 3 or 4 years. I used $5 microphones. Yeah, it might have sounded kind of funny, but maybe it didn't. But you guys, I was using microphones. I was using a Note 4 up until 2 years ago? And part of the screen was blurred whenever I was doing live streams in the streets and out and about. I was just showing people you could have went down and bought a $100 Note 4. You could actually buy a $5 microphone and you could go. You have no excuses. You can go down and buy a $10 light fixture, $5 light fixture. It's a go. Nobody's stopping you. But this stuff right here puts you in a box because you're sitting there thinking, I got to save some money, but where am I going to get the money? I got to pay off my debt, but I'm not making more money to pay off my debt. I got to build an emergency fund, but 60% of us are living paycheck to paycheck. I can't build an emergency fund. Investor savings. I don't have savings because I live paycheck to paycheck. What is this guy doing here talking about? Here's the top 10. Here's these list of things that requires me to not be living paycheck to paycheck. And we have 60% of Americans. Let's just say we have 300 million Americans. We have 180 million, let's just say, million Americans who are living paycheck to paycheck. That is substantial, ladies and gentlemen. That doesn't afford you to be able to do some of these things. So you have to come up with an ulterior program. And that's why I find it very disheartening to see this on Google. I should be able to see something concrete, but it's not. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on the screen. How about this? How to be rich. Why don't we do it this way? All right. How to be rich. I went over this already. It comes up the same nearly. Avoid pay down debt. Once again, what is this debt stuff? They're already assuming you're going to be in debt because they already know 60% of the people are living on their credit cards. Not 60%. I don't mean to say it like that, but a large percentage of our population. We have an all-time record high in credit card debt. It's over $1 trillion. That's it in America. Over $1 trillion of credit card debt from USA credit card holders. That is crazy. So this is why I don't understand avoid debt, but how can you avoid debt if it costs me 20% more, 25% more it cost me to live than it did last year, but I'm not getting a 20% more increase in my wages or my business profits. And I actually have to make more profit than that to start paying down my debt. Spend intentionally. We heard that already. Invest as much as possible. This is all rehashed. Work on your career, find extra work. These last two are the only things a little bit differently. But there's no playbook. How come there's no playbook? I want to know, why is there no playbook? Somebody please tell me. Why is there no playbook on how to become rich, how to become wealthy? Why is it that we have to go through these bumps and bruises in the road? Why is it that we have to have these people out here saying, here, buy my course? And then you have people buy the course, then you find out the course was bogus. I'm not saying everybody's like that. All I'm saying is a large percentage of these courses and things is stuff you can get off of Google. The fact of the matter is, nobody can put in the work. You can have a book, but in order to become wealthy, you have to put in the work. You don't get to just buy a book and then sit there and press some buttons and be like, voila, it's going to work. That's not how this works. You can buy the course. You can have the playbook for whatever they're discussing. But if you don't step out and do the work, you're not going to get there. That's the whole key to this. But again, there's tried and true efforts, and that is, you need revenue coming in from another source other than yourself. That's what you need, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Somebody should be saying amen. All right. So let's get real on this. I have to be explicit about this. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. We have some comments. Getting excited to what Eric is saying. Buy assets, guys. Real estate, stocks, whatever makes money. Exactly. That's exactly right. That's how it has to be at this point. It's the roaring 20s is coming. All right. Mark my words. These guys have set this up beautifully. Interest rates dictate what's going to happen. We all know when there's tax cuts, things start booming. We know when you reduce interest rates, the Federal Reserve reduces interest rates for borrowing, party is on. It's coming. Eric, let's start with basics. Please define real assets. Some people think their house as a homeowner are assets. Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is here. In fact, let me go show you guys something. Let me show you something. What are assets? Google. This is crazy right here. This is crazy. Here we go. Assets are things you own that have value. Assets can include things like property, cash, investments, jewelry, art, and collectibles. Liabilities are things that are owed. Okay. Notice liabilities. Everybody, we're focused on assets right now. But now I want you to think another thing. Get your pen, pad, and papers ready, because write down liabilities. This is the simplest form. If you're an accountant, a person that's in the financial services field, liabilities are easy to see. When somebody says, what did you spend money on? And you say, I spent it on this product or this service or this. And then the next thing is, how do you know it's not an asset? Because it's a debt. It does not generate revenue for you or income for you. You just bought clothes. You just bought car. You bought jewelry. That does not go up in value. And that, okay, I will reiterate about jewelry. Maybe the jewelry does go up in value. Let's say it does. But guess where it's sitting? It's sitting either around your neck, in the jewelry, in a safe deposit box. And guess what? It's not giving you anything in return right now. So once again, you're caught with things in your head that blows you out the water, because why? Your jewelry says, hey, my jewelry, it went up. Your jewelry went up. Did it go up 20% or 50% after you've had it for 10 years? Quite possibly, if you have the right setting or whatever it is. But guess what? The cost of living went up the same amount. And you had no revenue coming in that whole time. So it's a liability in my book. So when they say jewelry, they're talking specific jewelry that's limited. Limited, not going down here to the jewelry store and saying, hey, you know what? I have a 3-carat diamond ring. Oh, it's going to be worth something 10 years from. No, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about jewelry that's specialized. You know, it's a 10-carat diamond ring, and there's only one of them in the world, certain cut. That's the kind of jewelry they're talking about. That's one of a kind. That creates value. That goes up. Art is the same way. We've talked about art being an asset before, because those are one at a time offshoot. They're limited editions. There's numbers. So now down the road, it's going to be worth more. Art appreciates more than anything else. People, you're sleeping on art. I've had conversations about this. I made videos about this. But notice assets, property. They don't tell you what property, though. They keep it ambiguous. It's crazy. But now look down here at the drop-down menu. Once again, gold and silver. Okay, you guys, gold and silver doesn't give me any return on that asset. It goes up in value based on inflation. So I don't gain anything from holding gold and silver. Land, okay, we're starting to feel a little something. We can gain something on land. A home, they put a home down. Again, ladies and gentlemen, here in the SSN Nation, we're not in the twilight zone. A home is not an asset. Just wipe that from your mind. It's only an asset for a bank. All right? You want to know why? Because most people get loans on a bank. All right? And I'm going to show you again. All the guys know, but we might have somebody new here. Google mortgage calculator. All right? I'm going to show you something because a lot of people, oh, wait, what happened to the Google mortgage calculator? This is not good. Okay, let me go here. Maybe mortgage calculator. What happened to our mortgage calculator? I don't want this one. Okay, Google mortgage. What happened? Okay, calculator. What's happening here? They used to have a nice simple one on the screen. We can't get that one anymore. I don't like that. Let's go see. Maybe now I have to go with somebody else. Let's go with mortgage calculator here. Maybe this is simpler. All right, this is a little better. It's a little better. And let's see. No, that's not helping me either. This is not helping us. This is not helping us here, ladies and gentlemen. This is helping us. This is the one I want to show you right now. Here it is. This is why a home, when you get a loan, this is why a home is not an asset. People turn it into an asset because you have equity in your home, but you're going to borrow that equity. Then people borrow the equity. Then you turn your home potentially into an asset because the borrowed equity should be used to buy an asset that's going to pay off your equity loan, your HELOC, and it should be paying off the mortgage in your house. Now it turns into an asset. But in the meantime, the reason why banks have you out here and mortgage companies have you out here getting loans is because of this right here. We got a 30-year loan. We have a $425,000 house. You put 20% down for 30 years, you have a 7.18. If you do not refinance this when this interest rate goes down and you have to hold this 7%, look at this. You end up paying $829,000. That's like almost 300. What is that? $350,000 more. You bought the house for $425,000. How is this an asset? And oh, by the way, the 40-year note is here. It's coming just in time for when they raise when the next housing boom occurs and the home prices go to $800,000. They have an extra 10 years added. So then it'll be just like you bought the house at the 30-year number or less. And you'll say, oh, yeah, I can afford $3,000, $3,500 a month. So, yeah, I'll get that 40-year note. And then this number would be higher. All right. Now, let's show you the other factor. When they have this other crazy stuff going on where they go, hey, we have the 1% loan. We have the 3.5% loan. In fact, I'll put 3%. No, I like 3.5 because that gives me my FHA and all that. All right. Look at what happens when you do this. All right. Down payment. Sorry. Oh, yeah, that's what I want. Down payment, 14% or 14,000, 30 years. I do a 3% interest rate. That's right. There's a lot of people watching this right now who's all happy. I got a 3% interest rate. Look at this, Eric. Yeah, look at this. you still are going to end up paying $622,500. Do you understand? That is your so-called asset. Now, is it an asset? You're paying every month. If you don't pay them all your down payment, all the monthly payments you made for 10 years, your home is repossessed, it's gone, it's wiped out. Do you call that an asset, ladies and gentlemen? I don't. You could get ill. You can get in an accident. You can lose your job. Your business can also go bad. A pandemic shows up. You have to close for 6-8 months. You have no reprieve. Now your business is gone. Anything can happen any given time. You don't know what the future holds. An asset will maintain itself. That's the SSN Nation way. You don't need to do anything when you have an asset because you're not working for that asset. You work for a house. So them putting a house in an asset column, to me, is dubious at best. It should never be in an asset column. All right? Never, ever, in my opinion. Now, that's my opinion. All right? And I'm just saying it should never be, because you're going to be usually 30 years from when you bought a house, 30 years old, 60 years old, you finish paying off your house that you've already paid an extra 50% to 100% on. That is crazy. All right. So I'm going to go back over here. What are examples? This is insane that they even say that. Financial securities, yes, those are our stocks. Those that go up generally 8 to 9% annually. Right. So that's safe enough. I like my money working for it. Right. Working for me. Look at this. Convertibility. Classified. That's what I'm talking about. Classified assets based on how easy it is to convert them into cash. This is what I'm talking about. Physical existence. This is what I'm talking about as well. Usage. Classifying assets based on their business operations. This is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Those three situations right there explain it all. So you need all three. If you can't convert it to cash right away, cross out. It's not an asset. If you're not receiving some sort of passive income, not an asset. Those are just the straight up rules. All right. So again, let me know what you guys are thinking out here. Is there enough? Why do you need to be wealthy? Anybody want to chime in? Because you guys know. Thank you, Georges Charles, for this, because that's the basics. Now you understand why when people are Googling, there's miscommunications. There is no playbook. Once again, they're not saying, hey, go out here, build a business. They're not saying, hey, go over to SSN Nation, check out what he said. Look at the top 10 wealthiest people on the planet. Funny thing, they all have businesses, or they have holding companies that own businesses. But it's a funny thing. They all have multiple businesses that generate revenue, and they're the richest people on the planet. That should be the playbook. That should be, hey, start a business, get educated, figure out your field that you want to be in, and start your business. Get ready, set, go. That's how simple this should be. Take your passion, use it. Nothing wrong with that. All right, Brian P., congratulations. Now put that money to work for you. Pay yourself first. There we go. That's it exactly. That's it exactly. Very well said. Thank you, Victor Morero. Exactly, Victor Morero, giving out that great advice once again. And by the way, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all bell notification if you like what we're talking about. And if you want to be here in the chat room and ask questions, so be it. We have people here from all walks of life, very knowledgeable, from varied backgrounds, own businesses, hold assets, hold wealth tools and instruments in their pockets. You can ask the question. You may get great answers. In fact, you will. I'm getting ready to start doing that. Brian P. starting his wealth curve right now. All right. Professor is here. Auntie Val, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to her name. Excuse me. And she brings her tagline. Good evening, fam. With the heart, with the strength, with the notification, and with the cup of Joe. Beachfront Java, ladies and gentlemen. I already put a link in the chat room so everybody can go over there. You make your first order and make sure you put in something in the comments or promo or checkout and say SSN Nation. Send an email saying I'm from SSN Nation, so I want my lifetime 10% off after my first order. My first order, I got to pay full freight, the going rate. But after that, you get 10% off on all reorders for life, courtesy of Beachfront Java. Go check it out. Premium blended beans from all over the world, ground, K-cups, and whole beans. Go check her out in Ziploc bags, and she has merch, and she has K-cups. It's all there, ladies and gentlemen. Go do it. All right, let's go. Eric, you are right. I'm executive VP, but I am not excited about the high salary today. They gave me stock options, will be worth millions in 5 years. There you go. In 5 years, he's on the train, ladies and gentlemen. He put in his hard work. He used his education, went into the field that he loves. He's making other investments with his above average income, and he's buying assets now. And with those stock options from his business, if they make it up to the next 5 years, which they should, then he can turn into those top 10 people. Notice that they had companies. He's going to be able to take his stock options, just like workers at Google, Microsoft, and all those tech companies that get these stock options. They can turn around and get this, borrow against their stocks. Oh my, how about that? How about that crazy? That's what Elon did to buy Twitter. That's what Elon has done to fund a lot of his companies. Used his stocks from Tesla as collateral. Why? Because he has revenue and profits coming in, so he could always pay it back. This is why he doesn't pay high taxes, because he has loans, income coming in, he uses to pay back. Win. Are you getting it yet? Ding, 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 ding. Is this getting you guys understanding how they're able to keep their wealth? And then I and a lot of people get upset that they don't pay the taxes. And then I get upset because they get to turn around and go down to the city and state and say, hey, I want to open up a factory in your neighborhood. And the factory says, oh, don't worry. We'll give you free land. In fact, you don't have to pay taxes or anything because you promised us 5,000 jobs over the next 10 years. So therefore, our taxpayers are going to pay your taxes for you. I'm like, that's where I get upset. I'm like, wait a minute. These guys are worth billions of dollars. Why don't they pay for their own factories that they want to do? I thought this is capitalism. Well, see, that's how they stay ahead of the game. They get to stay ahead of all of you because you don't have businesses operating like that. You see, that's the difference. That's why here in the SSN Nation, we tell you to be like the top 10. Get your businesses started. Get your passive income coming in. Create your conglomerate. Then you will be just like them on a smaller scale. But you'll never have to worry about creating wealth because your conglomerate corporations are creating the wealth for you while you are overseeing it. And then you have great people working for you. That is the key right there, ladies and gentlemen. Right on, Georges Charles. Congratulations with that. That is beautiful. Professor Auntie Val also says congratulations. Vanessa Comagate is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. The Seamless Genius is in the house. Another entrepreneur making that passive income to her advantage. And she has the icon next to her name as well. And she says, hey, boss and SSN fam, happy Monday. Happy Monday to you as well. Thank you so much for being here in the house. The Seamless Genius, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, another one of those investors, entrepreneurs making things happen. Ariam Kaye is here. Welcome. Another investor, real estate mogul is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. The asset crew is here. I love it, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of them are in the house tonight. Good evening, Eric and SSN fam. Good evening to you too, Ariam. Very, very nice to see you once again. Thank you for being here. And again, here we are. Vanessa Comagate. Okay, you bet the preach self-employment is boss. Exactly, Vanessa Comagate. It's been there. Exactly. That's what we're talking about tonight. I had to break them off early. The top 10 of the wealthiest in the world, they have one thing in common. They all control multiple businesses. All of them. except one, but I shouldn't take Warren Buffett off of control because Warren Buffett actually controls enough stock to control certain companies like the Geicos. He has so much in Coca-Cola. So he actually gets to be the leading stock investor in the company, which means he gets to push and pull against what the company does. So he did it a different way, but he still basically owns the companies. And then he does own companies with his Berkshire Hathaway. All right, let's call it what it is. So actually, everybody on the top 10 wealthiest have corporations under their asset umbrella. There's no way around it. If you want to get to why you need to be wealthy, that's how you do it. So thank you so much for that, Vanessa Comagate. That's how we do it. All right. Now, Brian P. Hey, Eric, what you think about buying a laundromat? I love it. I love it. What do you mean? That meets the criteria, Brian P. That meets the criteria. You get to, okay, let's call it what it is, a laundromat. It has to be cleaned up. You have to have certain things there, like the bounce tissues to put in the dryer, right? You got to have detergent to put in there. You got to have 1 and 2 bathrooms so people can use the restroom in there, right? You got to have cleanup on aisle 5 from lint and things like that people naturally will probably leave on the floor. And since they tumble and turn, those machines will break down. So when we're buying a laundromat, we need to know the age of the equipment. And there's more reasons why we need to know the age of the equipment, because I want to be able to depreciate some of this equipment as well, so I can write it off on my taxes, because this is going to be cash intensive. I'm making X amount of dollars per day, every day in cash. Interesting, right? And if you're going to report it properly, I want to make sure I have the best efficient equipment for a laundromat. If I do not, then it might start costing me money because of the breakdowns, because some maintenance is going to be required or replacement of the units are going to be required. So you got to keep that in mind. There is nothing wrong with the laundromat. You just have to buy the right laundromat. There was years ago, I don't think it was you, Brian P., but there was a person saying, I want to buy a laundromat. The guy only wanted something like $10,000 to $15,000, but as it turns out, it was like the machines in there were like 20 years old, and maybe 3 or 4 of them were not in use at the time. So that meant you were automatically going to have to spend money for upkeep, more than you normally would. So now, was that a great deal? In my opinion, not. Because we're looking at low maintenance figures if we're going to buy a laundromat. I don't want to roll in there and there's 15 to 20-year-old units in there. I want to roll in there where the guy goes, yeah, I'm selling this at this price. It's 5-year-old machines. Here's all of the maintenance records. Here's who I use for maintenance. That's the guy I want. And all 20 of these units or 30 of these units work. The last breakdown was 12 months ago. That's the guy I want to own, because now we're operating in an efficient manner. And every year thereafter, the machines are going to get older and older, which is going to require replacement or parts. And it ain't cheap, because those are commercial washers and dryers. So let's go. Let me know what you're thinking, Brian P. You found the laundromat? Let me know, because anyway, that's a great deal. That's a great business to be in, because you're going to be earning money daily. That is the key. Low overhead. Beautiful. If you can get it, you can have somebody go over there, pay them $5, not $5, but pay them for like 4 or 5 hours to clean up. Go over there, close and clean up. In the morning, come over there for a couple hours, do your thing, or come in the afternoon, midday, do your thing, and then close up. Late night, however you want to do it. Hell, you could do it yourself. You might as well put in a little work. That way you don't have to pay anybody. But either way, nice. Eric, I learned the difference between earning versus making money. I learned I am earning money on my job, but I make money with my investments. Very well said, Georges Charles. Very well said. Everybody take note of this. This is exactly right. He's earning money. And if any time they walked in tomorrow and they said, you know what? Sorry, we just did our budget for next year. We can't afford your salary no more. We got to let you go. All of that earning power goes bye-bye. But he has assets that's going to pay him. Now he says a sigh of relief, because he's like, oh, man, I'm glad I bought them assets and instead of buying those liabilities. Because right now, this would be like a world of hurt on me. I'd have to be spending all of my cash savings or whatever holdings I have. I'd have to start liquidating, doing things like that. We don't want you in that position, ladies and gentlemen. So he's doing the right thing. He's earning the money just so he can buy the assets. 75%, ladies and gentlemen. Start thinking that way. The roaring 20s are going to be here. You still have time. All right? You still have time. All right. Auntie Val, what's good, sis? Showing some love. And he says, or car wash. Car wash. There's nothing wrong with the car wash either. It's just that I'm not very familiar with the car wash other than I've used them before. And yes, those are, cash comes in as well in the form of coins and dollars. But once again, mechanical parts are moving. A car wash, generally, you have to go by the traffic that's coming by. It depends on the car wash. Is this the one that has people working there at it? Or is it the one that has the jets and everybody does a self car wash? There's two different kinds. But it does not matter. If you're going to buy a business, the number one rules, that's for everybody. You need to say, I need to see the books. And then when they break you off the books, you got to go, hey, wait a minute. You could be the mob. I just don't want to see your books. I need to see your business tax returns for the last 3 years because I want to say, if you tell me you made $400,000 a year, I want your tax returns to say you admit you made $400,000 a year. Because if your tax return says you only made $200,000 a year, I'm saying you made $200,000 a year. Sorry, but that means your company's worth a lot less if you're making $200,000 a year than if you're making $400,000 a year. I am not paying you for $400,000 a year when you're claiming on your tax returns for the last 3 years that you only made $200,000. That doesn't smell right. That doesn't look right. And your accountant, he better, in fact, your accountant's going to have to sign off on this. He's going to have to sign off that he's approving all these things, because if I have to sue your ass because this thing is actually $200,000 and I actually have to pay a little bit more to accumulate this thing, nah, we're gonna have a remedy for this situation. So either you sell it to me for the $200,000 revenue number or profit number, or forget about it. Simple. But all I'm saying is that's the way you have to look at it. You don't overpay for an asset unless they prove that it's making X amount. Just because they say, here's my books, and my books say it made $400,000. No. I want to see what the profits are telling me, what everything's telling me, what your tax paperwork say. That's what I go by. All right. Don't play around out here, ladies and gentlemen, especially when you're actually buying businesses. Don't play around. Don't just be cavalier about this because you're thinking you're getting a good deal. All right. Vanessa Kamagate says, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the 4 quadrants, it's the truth. Okay. He's got the 4 quadrants. That actually does work. I have to admit. All right. I've seen it before. At Vanessa Kamagate, yes, for sure. Exactly. That is a good. In fact, you know what's very interesting? Notice when I looked up how to become wealthy, how to become rich, what are assets, there is no mention of any playbook. So in other words, that 4 quadrant, even that would be more helpful than this crazy talk that they have over here. Even that is more outlined to show, due to the basic quadrants, this is where you should be going. At least there's some direction in it. So that's the funny thing about it. All right. Thank you, my dear, says Professor Auntie Val. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know it's that time. We're going to have to throw down a little SSN lifestyle. But Vanessa says, George's Charles, letting your money make money. Yes, she's all about that. All right. This is for everybody. We always throw in a little bit of something. A little bit of something. So hopefully you guys who are here, just like Brian P., he was asking about the car wash, the washing machine, laundromats. If you have questions and want to discuss something, go ahead. You're free to. This is what we do here. We have entrepreneurs in the house. Some other people may have some advice as well. So what I'm going to do here, we're going to play a little promo. Let's see. Let's do a little promo like, no, I've played that one in a while. Let's do this one. I haven't played this one in a while. We might have some new people here. So you guys see, have a little fun while you're making money, going around. This is the little fun that I used to have. So here you go. Found this clip one day. I don't even know how I found it. It was on the internet somewhere. And I was like, holy smokes. Yeah. Here we go.
People call me the champ. That's not true. I'm a champ a long time ago. This is the champion, David Chu. Say hello. David Chu. Hello, everyone. Tell us what's the tournament that you just won a ridiculous amount of money in?
Well, what's WPT?
Yeah, WPT where? How much did you win? 3.4. $3.4 million David Chu just came home with. You're amazing. Amazing. Yes, let's give a hand for David Chu. We have David Chu here. Just won $3.4 million. How we doing? How's the table? Oh my God, Brett Butler's here. Brett Butler and I have a lot of history. He's the man who got absolutely no cards at the final table when we were together. It was unbelievable. I got so unbelievably lucky, and he got nothing sick. It was really sick. This man should have won a hell of a lot more money. But how much did you win at the World Series, David?
3.2.
For real? He won $3.2 million, and he got absolutely no cards, got completely screwed, and I felt really bad, but it's not that bad. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. You're playing against Glenn Turman, who's one of my old clients. Glenn is one of the great actors of our time. Glenn's been nominated for an Emmy this year for his HBO movie. You gotta come and talk to Glenn. You didn't recognize Glenn Turman as your next crazy? I'm so sorry.
Oh, hiding out on me, man. Oh, my goodness.
Of course. Glenn, I miss you so much. We have Glenn Turman in the house, everybody. Tell us about the movie that you're doing. You just did great feel. You're nominated for an Emmy this year.
Well, HBO put me up for a nomination.
Ladies and gentlemen, another lifetime, but hella fun. All right. Now, in that video, there's a guy named Rhett Butler. And I've been saying, you know, he's the guy that Jamie was telling him, hey, man, you had bad cards at the table. He still made $1 million. He busted out first, but it doesn't really matter. He started a company that I've talked about in Virginia named William and Harry. It's a clothing company. I want to have him on because, once again, it's a business. It's not poker. It's business that he started in Virginia called William and Harry. It's a clothing store. It's kind of like this. I don't even know what to describe it, right? It's you know, the knit tops, the dress shirts, the shoes. It's kind of like, can't remember the name of the store, the Eddie Bauer type stuff kind of store. But anyhow, I want to know why he just thought it was a good idea to start a clothing store and why he picked that location. That could help some of you entrepreneurs out. And if he used investors or how he did it, because he's a partnership. So again, hopefully I have him on. In fact, he sent me a message just a few days ago, but I forgot to ask him if he'll come on and talk about his William and Harry plus other business ventures, because this is SSN Nation. All right. So I'm going to see if he's going to come on. I should know, hopefully, maybe next Monday. I'm going to see if he'll come on, see what he's doing. All right. So just giving you guys a heads up. I've been talking about it a few times, but he just hit me up. I didn't hit him up. And so I was like, wait a minute. I need to talk to him, see if he'll come on. All right. So there goes another little insight, right? So forged, right? Forged friendships over time. That was a long time ago, by the way, when we used to play poker and stuff. So and funny that we're still in touch, right? Letting your money make money for you. That is part of the ecosystem, ladies and gentlemen. All right, interesting. They say work on your career as a means to be rich from what Google showed. Exactly, Georges Charles. Exactly. But there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to have a career. That's the weirdest part. Hard work. My focus, says Victor Morrell, was to create diversified portfolios, stocks, real estate, Army and VA pensions, chase retirement. My honest regret, not starting investing in my early 20s. Wish I could go back. See, therein lies the whole thing, Victor Morrell. Let's face facts. When we're in our 20s, you're generally not taught. The whole brain trust tells you, go to school, get a job, work for somebody else. Oh, give your money to your 401k when you work there. Everything will be fine. And then you find yourself with this job, and then you find yourself like in a dead-end job, and you're like, man, I'm not getting promoted. I'm not getting any improvements. My wage increase isn't going up. I can't stay here. I got to go to another job. So you're busy trying to find your way. You're growing at the same time as well, emotionally, physically, mentally as well. And so your mind isn't thinking, oh, man, unless your family was talking about it while you're growing up saying, hey, invest in stocks and do this, do that. then you're not going to be talking to your friends who are also 18, 19, 20 years old, unless you're in that realm where you're going to a private school and you're going to Harvard or going to a private high school where their parents are already owning corporations around the city. And that conversation comes up. Yeah, my dad owns where, and then that might interest you going, well, how did he buy it? How did he own it? Then that gives you a little leg up. Plus you're friends with them and you can go work at their companies. So there's a whole different ecosystem going on. But for most of us who grow up in lower, upper, or middle class, most people are taught, go to school, get a job. When you get out, try and figure out what job you're going to be able to get and hope that job pays you well enough where you can advance over the next 20, 30 years. You'll retire, all's good. So therefore, in your early 20s, it's very hard. So it's rare. I've been there. I am that guy. I'm the guy, Victor Marrero. I know, but this is a long time ago. When I was 18, 19, and I'm telling my friends what I used to tell you, they're looking at me like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm telling them, hey, man, go down here. This is how you get an LLC. This is how you start your company. This is how you get a C Corp. This is what you do. They're like, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in learning about this, computers, for instance. I'm going to be a manager somewhere, so I'm going to go to school and get a business management degree. I'm going to be the boss one day. I'm like, yeah, but you're the boss of your own business. You understand that, right? And you get paid from your own business. You get paid from whatever you do. You understand this, right? You don't have to work for somebody else. You control it. No. I got to go to school. I said, we are in school. But they're like, it goes right by. They're just like, I'm trying to pay for my school. I can barely pay for my books. I got to get a loans. I don't know. I don't have time. I can't do it. So I used to have conversations. Okay, we can do this. Because back in the day, just what you do on Amazon used to have to be in real life. You want to sell products, you could do it. You could put it in the Penny Saver, the Magic Ads, the Nickels, those little magazines that used to come to your door every day or once a week. You could put ads in there, and then you could sell your product. The same thing, except now they're on the internet. Let's say, same concept, but they thought it was too hard, and I said, "Watch me." And so when I have checks coming in, and I'm just like, "Yeah, I ordered it from overseas. I put it in these newspapers, and people are sending me money orders, checks to buy these." There was no PayPal. There was none of this Cash App. There was none of that. Checks, money orders to buy products. Yes, and we had to wait till the checks cleared, which could be 4 or 5 days. Or if you're in the same bank, then it would clear in like 24 hours. But most of the time, it's coming from wherever. You ship it, and it's gone. Then what happens? You get big enough, all of a sudden, you're doing drop shipping, as they used to call it, which is what Amazon does now. You can have your stuff at their warehouse. Somebody orders from you on Amazon. Amazon ships it out. You're done. You don't have nothing to do. Well, they had it back then too. This isn't something new. So then you had it drop ship directly from the manufacturer, just like Alibaba does now. AliExpress does now. They did that 30 years ago. All right? Same thing. Nothing changed, just a different way. Same with me. Guys in Taiwan, guys in China, guys in Japan. Hey, this guy ordered. You're going to ship it out for me? Yes, Eric, directly from here. Airfare from Japan used to be cheap into the USA, go through customs because everybody had their chains. Very simple. But nobody wanted to do it. It's too hard. What's so hard? You put an ad out, you go to school. Checks come in. Really? How hard is it? Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You had to create a nice little ad. Or the people that are running your ad, they create the ad for you. So you really didn't even have to do that. You just approve the ad and go, yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's roll. Pretty simple, right? So to you, I'm explaining it's simple. Back then, when we're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, people are like, no. I got to get a job. I can't risk that. I got to make sure I have money coming in. I got to get a car. I got to do this. All this stuff comes into play. So they don't get to go for their dreams because they have to spend it on making sure they have enough money to go for their dreams. And then they have a job. Then they get locked in. And the next thing you know, they're just, hey, I have health care. when they used to pay full health care back then. I have everything. So you have to keep this in mind. So this is why Victor Morrell says that they regret. Most people who are successful say the same thing that he says. He's come relatively far. He's successful. And everybody generally says the same thing. I wish I knew this when I was 20 or in my 20s. Generally have the same thing, because if you knew what you knew now, then you wouldn't have actually had the path that you had, because you would have already had everything by the time you were 30. That's the difference. So then you might change course over time, right? Just like I did. I was sitting there saying, okay, in my 20s, just like Victor Morrell saying, I was thinking, what if I'm not successful in my endeavors for the next 30, 40 years? I guess I should have a resume. So I guess I should work somewhere. So then I won't have this gap of 5, 6, 8, 10 years of working for myself and rolling in going, yeah, I work for myself. This is how much I made. And they sit there and go, yeah, okay. We're not paying, $100,000 a year because you don't have no work history of anybody else. So I figured I better work for somebody else and have my business, because I didn't really want to work for somebody else. I just figured, hey, I'm only 22, 23, 24 years old. I should have something on a resume. And back then, you needed something just in case. But I still have my own businesses. So whenever as I told you guys before, whenever my business, the place I work with, acted weird or kind of got funny and was getting ridiculous or whatever, I would be like, I don't have to take this crap. I'm out of here. And they'd be looking at me like, what's this? What's going on with this guy? He's just like quitting. He don't care. He's telling us what's wrong. He's right, but we don't like it. He's got to go. And I'd be like, no, I'm leaving. Like I am leaving. They're like, what do you mean you're leaving? We need you to be suspended for a day or two. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm leaving. I have my own business. I have my office across town or my office up the street. I don't actually have to work here. I had options. I'm like, I don't have to work here and take your BS. I don't have to sit here and get passed over while you ask me to do something with management. And the guys you promote, you don't ask them. So I have a problem, right? You don't get to roll up in my place where I'm the manager at Ross. I never probably told you guys this story. I'm one of there's several managers. I wasn't the GM and I wasn't second in command. I was like 4th or 5th in command. And they give us sections. So I'm like the warehouse, not really warehouse, but in the warehouse in the back of the buildings, right? So I have the warehouse section. That's what I control. And I'll be damned, my boss comes in and he tells me, hey, Eric. He's like, Eric, I don't think you're running this stock stuff and our warehouse and everything great, because remember, your guys are supposed to be doing this warehouse. You're supposed to be coming out on the floor, replacing everything. This is what you're supposed to be having your crew do. You're in charge of this, your crew doing this. And so we're holding you responsible. And you don't even have the best store. And like I said before, I always check. I always felt it was prudent to see the competition. Well, in this case, the competition at Ross or Marshall's isn't so much like Target. My competition is another Ross or Marshall store. So I go to another Ross or Marshall store just to see what they're doing, making sure that they're doing our expectations. So I roll in the store. I'm seeing stuff thrown all over the place. Nobody's redoing anything. The warehouse, I walk in the back. I'm just like, you guys don't even have stuff numbered. How do you know where stuff is? I'm just like, this is crazy. So then I go to another one. We have like 5 or 6 of them in the city, and I go to all of them. So when my boss rolls in and starts saying, Eric, your store ain't as good as this or that or the other, I'm like, I call your bluff. I'm sorry. No, you are not correct. And so when I say to my boss, no, I'm going to take the heat for the fellas if you feel they did something wrong. Let's write down what you think they did wrong. He writes it down. So I'd be like, okay, let's go to the other stores. And he's like, my bosses, they would have their crew, and I'd be like, wait, what do you mean go to the other store? You guys came in here saying my store wasn't as good as the other stores. Let's go to the other stores right now. Because back then, not everybody had cell phones. So bosses didn't even have cell phones. So it ain't like they were going to call them up. Yeah, they weren't going to be able to do whatever they needed to do in 15 minutes because that's how close they were. 10 minutes away was the next store. So I was like, let's go. All the time they would be like, nah, Eric, everything's fine. Nah, we don't need to go to the other stores. I was like, I know we don't have to go to the other stores because what you're just telling me is BS and you know it. I said, I go to the other stores just to make sure I'm on par or better than them. I said, I do my due diligence. So when you roll up in here talking this smack, I don't take your smack. And people thought I was going to be fired because my coworkers or people that are behind me, they're sitting there like, I can't believe you talk to the bosses like this. How come you're not fired? I said, there's one reason, because they know I'm not lying. They're lying saying that we weren't doing our job and we weren't the best. You guys are set up to be the best. The planograms, everything from corporate, you guys are doing it 110% what corporate wants you to do. Just because these guys come in here and start talking their crazy nonsense, I went to the other stores and actually check on the other stores just to make sure we are the best. And he's like, they're all like, damn, no wonder you have all this way about you. You confident. I said, you damn right, man. Nobody's going to come in here and try and dismiss us like that. We're top notch. Don't worry about what they say. They're just trying to come in here and make you work harder, trying to make you feel like you're not doing a great job, but you are. But we are slacking a little bit. So I got to tell you, we got to pick up on some of this stuff because quite frankly, what they did say was some of the stuff was you guys don't have handled proper, fully to my specifications. You might have it to corporate specs, but in here, it's my specs. So that's how it went, ladies and gentlemen. And so that's one of the reasons why when you work for somebody else and you're in your 20s, it's very hard. You're pressed. It ain't like you're scared that you're going to get fired. You're scared that and you don't feel confident. You're low man on the totem pole generally. All right, Victor Morrell, that is also my regret. See, here goes George's Charles saying the same thing. Not starting early, but my kids will be on the right path. I am starting them early, earning compound interest. Very well done, George's Charles. That's how an empire is built. You have to either build the empire for your kids and teach them, or you teach them as you're building the empire. There's two ways you can do it, but exactly right. Auntie Val says, guess what? My brother and his wife came to visit from Puerto Rico, and they loved the coffee. I gave them the website. Do you guys ship to Puerto Rico? Yes. I can answer that already. Thank you very much, Victor Morrell, for sharing that Cop-Up Java, because you know she ships to Puerto Rico. It's right there off the coast. Mo Better Blue is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Another investor, entrepreneur is in the house. He knows what it takes to be wealthy. What's up, SSN Nation? He says, what's up, E? We in the building is damn right. And he has the icon next to his name as well, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. Vanessa Comagate. Same thing happened to me, Victor. My bestie loved the coffee. She's going to order. Her name is Arlene. There we go. I love all this, ladies and gentlemen. See, this is what we love. The SSN Nation members, Seamless Genius, Victor Morrell, everybody sharing the love for our entrepreneur in-house, Professor Auntie Val with her beachfront Java. All right, go show your love, ladies and gentlemen. I put a link in the chat room so you can actually run over there to Beachfront Java. If you don't already have your 10% off, don't worry about it. If you ordered before July 3rd, use the SSN Fam link, got your 15% off. You're already, for your next order, going to get 10% off. If you did not order before then, and you ordered after July 3rd, and she knows you're from SSN Nation, then you will get 10% off for life. But if you're going to order right now and this is the first time you ordered, then guess what? You're not going to get the 10% off. But your reorder for the rest of your life will be 10% off. Awesome, Vanessa Comagate. I love that. Sharing the love. Okay, assets make money. Liabilities take money. Very well said, George's Charles. I like that. Assets make money, liabilities take money, and therein lies when they put that home on the list. This is why I don't count a home as an asset, because it takes money out of your pocket to make your home payments. So again, that's why I never liked that, using a home as an asset. That's not good for individuals. Mo Better. We need to be wealthy because no one is coming to save us. Exactly. I very well like that. You know that. We have that shirt, ladies and gentlemen. Go to stopstrugglingnow.com and get that nobody's coming to save you shirt. Yeah, it has double meanings on that. People are asking when I wear it, they're out. Wait, what's that mean? Is that a Christian Bible reference? I'm like, no, it's exactly what it's saying. Nobody's coming to save you is exactly what I'm saying. You're on this planet. You need to make something happen on this planet. Nobody's saving you from it because you need to make money. Let's call it what it is. In every country around the world, if you don't have a trade that you can actually trade a coconut for water or water for a coconut or some way you can barter or buy something, you have problems. You're always going to have to use some form of money to buy something. There's no way around it. And it's going to cost you more over time, no matter what country, city, or state you're in. I'll check rates, but yes, we can, Victor. Yes, they will. Right off the coast. It's not that expensive. Auntie Val, Vanessa, that's great. Exactly. All right. I love this talk tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Professor Auntie Val, peach, apple blossom, English breakfast. Oh my, this sounds like tea, ladies and gentlemen. Just a tease for the tea later this year. Yes, it is the tea. Clothing line looking cute. Here we go. She's got the merch. I'm in overdrive because only we can take care of us. Exactly, Professor Auntie Val. She's making her dreams come true, punching in that asset and making it happen. And by the way, in case you do not know, I'm not going to say anything about the competition with coffee because coffee is worldwide. Just like liquor is worldwide. There's openings for everybody. It's not even oversaturated, which is unbelievable. You would think coffee, tea, liquor, things like this, even though Auntie Val doesn't do liquor yet. I'm just saying, sometimes you might have to have that, what did you call them, lattes? Those, what do you call those Boston, I can't remember those drinks that have the liquor and the coffee in them. Can't remember what you used to call those. But anyhow, liquor is also worldwide. That's how you can have somebody start their liquor brand now, and it could be successful, even though there's thousands of liquor brands. And shelf space is hard to get, but you don't have to have shelf space to start anything anymore. Just like Professor Auntie Val. She has a few orders from the SSN Nation. It started. She's got a few orders. Now we just have to expand upon them. She has to expand upon that, blossom out like she's doing, having more offerings like she's doing. She's setting it up beautifully, in my opinion. This is how you operate. She's doing it. She's doing it. She's making it happen. And she has some of you to support her as well. She has us to support her. So that's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right. Much love, Victor. And Victor was saying, even though I didn't read it, he was saying, cool, may have to expand operations in San Juan. The word is out. Exactly. You got to love it. Vanessa Comagate says, Auntie Val, you go, girl. Love the SSN fam. We support. Exactly. SSN Fair, the best. Thank you, Professor Auntie Val, for that. We're showing some love. I love it. Fair, I mean fam. Multitasking can be tricky sometimes. I understand. She goes to SSN fam, the best. Thank you so much for that. And you guys really are. I appreciate all the love that you've supported me over all these years. I appreciate everybody believing in me when even some of these things that we talked about over the years, we thought were going to be assets, and they haven't turned out to be assets yet. Right? You guys know we're talking about some of these crypto projects, the Ring of Fire stuff. It hasn't turned out to be assets yet. Some of them actually outright didn't work out because they're DAO, they're crypto, they're whatever. Wasn't time. We're talked about a lot of things over the years, but the staples have been the stocks and the real estate. Those are staples of the industry. Starting your own business is another staple. That's why I always have Opus Virtual Office down below in the description. A lot of people start from their work, from home, but you should have your LLC at a different location, at least on paper. At least on paper, your checks and everything at that address for Opus Virtual Office. The Opus Virtual Office has a phone number specifically for you, business phone number included, business fax number included. They report to the credit bureaus included, 411 included. They answer your phone in your corporate business name, and they will forward the phone to you of the person. And on top of that, It's a tax write-off. $99. Use the YG1 code. Why the YG1 code? Because the administrative fee is waived. For everybody on podcast, there you go. That is the link down below. Opus Virtual Office. Go get it. Start it up. Okay, let's see what we got here. Brian P., you need to consider a maintenance contract for machine repairs. There we go. Victor Morelos hit it right on the head. Thank you so much for that additional advice. That's probably the highest cost after rent and possibly electricity. What's the location? Ask for financials. Very well said. And that was a very good piece of advice because I did not even include that. He is exactly right. I just said make sure you had it checked out, but he's exactly right because I forgot about they do have maintenance contracts for laundromats. He's exactly right. And in fact, the person that owns it might even have a maintenance contract already in existence. Very well, Victor Morel. Very, very well. Okay, let's see. George's Charles, a 24-hour laundromat. Very well. We will see. Maybe he might want to talk about it. Brian P., why not buy a dollar store? With high inflation, dollar stores are popular. Well, it all depends on the cost that he's willing to spend or buy the business, right? That's the key right there. Victor Morel, they keep building car washes around me. I swear, that's like a McDonald's. You can build one next to each other and they will be both make money. I see those around me full every time. Yes, Victor Morel, but which car wash is it? Is it the one that it's self car wash that you do your own with the wand? Or is it the one that you actually drive in and they actually have somebody dry off your car and do all that? Because that might matter as well. And I have to agree with you. What is uncanny to me is in Florida. All the car washes in every major city, it's uncanny. He's exactly right. They could be literally a half a mile apart from each other, and people are at each one. It's uncanny. I've never seen anything like it. And they started doing it in Cali as well. They started putting in these chains of car wash where the ones that people actually dry off and wax and wash and do all that at that location. They started doing that in Cali as well. I mean, it starts getting crazy, but it's real estate. It's like McDonald's. Like he said, you get that real estate, that section, that corner, that clientele, the customer base is rolling by. Thousands of cars are coming by. All you need is a few hundred a day. It's doable. George's Charles, great idea in the right location. Exactly. Location matters when it comes to business. I love seeing Cooley High, Glen T. Exactly. All right. I learned not everybody is cut out for biz. Exactly. I'm glad because we need worker bees. Exactly. Therein lies the whole thing. Most people are built from what they're taught to be a worker bee. You're not taught to go out there and build your own business, only if that's discussed while you're growing up, because then you think that's what I could possibly do. But most people are taught, go to school, get a job, put your money in a 401k, save money, and then get your pension or get your retirement funds, and you're going to be fine. That's generally. So you'll always be able to find workers until you can't, because nowadays it's really disgusting how many times you go to a place of business and what do you see? You see this. I'm like, excuse me, can you show me where something is in the store? They're like, and then they're like, oh, how can I help you? I'm like, they're literally at work on their phone. It's unreal. This is just crazy to me. And nobody really wants to work. And even then, if you fire that person, bring in another person, they're generally doing kind of the same thing. It's kind of weird. It's really weird. All right, let's go. Beachfront Java. There's the link. It's in the chat room. If you want to order from our own Professor Auntie Val, join the SSN fam. Your first order, you will not get 10% off unless you previously ordered before July 3rd and used the SSN fam link. But if not, after you order and when you order, make sure you put in SSN Nation, SSN fam, one of those. So then that way she can tag your account. So then every time you reorder, you'll get 10% off for life. Oh, it's like wine. This coffee's like wine, different blends, different mixes, different barrels. It's awesome. I didn't know it was that extravagant, but it's extravagant. Go show some love, ladies and gentlemen. All right. This brings us up to almost an hour and a half of discussion. Or is it almost 2 hours? Almost 2 hours of discussion coming in here shortly. So we came in hot tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Why you need to be wealthy. It's plain and simple. You know, stop playing with yourself. You and I both know it's going to cost you more to buy everything next year. All right? Come on, stop playing. You know that. You know it's going to cost you more than what it cost in 2024. It's going to cost you more in 2025. But if you were able to sleep for 2 years and wake up in 2025, July, and you woke up and it was like, okay, it's like 2023, and then went out and got some gas, went to the grocery store, paid a few bills, you'd be like, what happened? This didn't just go up 3 or 4%. What the hell's going on here? What do you mean my property taxes just went up another 20%? What do you mean my insurance premiums are like another 30%? What the hell's going on around here? I just slept for 2 years. But wait a minute, we're going to give you your same job, Eric, at the same pay. You're going to be like, oh, wait, hold on. No, everything costs more. I can't get paid the same. Hold on a second. Or I'm going down to my business. Hey, business, how we doing? Oh, man, it's not going as great as it used to be. We have to change some things. Oh, man, we have less revenues now, less profit now. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Where are we going to get this extra revenue and profits from? See, all this stuff, you're not going to be able to just sit still. You have to make plans. Like Professor is expanding her business empire early, getting it out there. That way, she's also doing an experiment. I always use a business experiment. She's able to find out what coffees sell the best or the least, which teas she's going to find out which are the popular blends, what she's going to be able to expand upon, what merch sells the most or that people like. She'll be able to garner all that and use it going forward later on. So it's a great, great idea. All right, let's see. Did I miss this one? Let me see if I missed this one. George's Charles, great idea in the right location. Okay, I did not miss that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to probably wrap this up a little bit earlier. This conversation, I felt it was needed today because we have a situation where, again, it's going to be the roaring 20s. And after around the end of this year in 2024, that's when the button is go. It's a go. It's a rocket ship for stocks, homes, or multifamily properties. All of that, it's a go. And you know when the economy's rocking, the price increases also rock up. So again, we've got to be prepared here in the SSN Nation. And by being prepared, businesses, creating something that gives you a return on your investment. That is what you need to do for the next 2 to 3 years ASAP, starting now. All right. Buy a home is on the agenda. Why buy a home? Even though it's a liability, you can get away with buying a home when interest rates are 7 and 8%. That's the only reason. Because in less than 2 years, when they start reducing the interest rate, you will be able to have some equity in your home that you will not be able to earn. You will not be able to earn $200,000 free and clear over the next year and a half, 2 years. Let's just call it what it is. 60% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck. So don't play. I know 40% don't live paycheck to paycheck, but 60% is a hell of a lot of people. Hundreds of millions. So if we could drop 100 million people from having to live paycheck to paycheck, and they actually have passive income coming in that pays for their lifestyle, that would be a whole lot better. That would be a sustainable business for the whole of the United States. More people don't have to live paycheck to paycheck, which now means they have more disposable income, which now means businesses are going to make more profit, which now means they can pay people higher wages. And now we have an ecosystem that actually functions properly. But to get there, we need all of the mom and pop businesses out there to be successful or actually be on their way to success. And that's part of buying assets too, that help supplement. Sometimes your business may not be profitable, but if you have assets that can supplement that, that comes in handy. So just keep all that in mind. We're about to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let me know if you guys have any further thoughts. All right, Eric, the clothing line is not merch. Oh, it's a separate business altogether. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So I want to look for some notes because one of my Wait, we got something here. Wait a minute. We have some new news here. We have some new news. Oh, we have some new news. There's a new project coming at Larimar. We have some new we have something new here. I'm gonna have to look into this. I can't tell what this is. No, there's a new promo for Larimar. The discount is back. If you put a down payment of 20, 50, or 90%, you start at, they have a special promo. 2% discount if you put down 20% at Larimar or Horizon. 6% discount if you put down 50%. And 10% discount if you put down 90%. That's in Horizon. In Prime Towers, if you do a 20% down, 40% during construction, you get 2% discount. If you put down 20% with the 60% during construction, it's 4%. 50%, 30% during construction is 6%. 90% is 10% discount. That's at Prime Towers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the new promo. Cool. All right. Well, that's what's happening there, ladies and gentlemen. Prime Towers, Larimar City and Resort, real estate investing. Short-term rentals are possible. You're going to have to go with their management company if you're doing short-term rentals, or you get to choose your management company as long as it's approved by Larimar Management. All right. So this is awesome. She's doing her own clothing line. It's separate. It's not Beachfront Java clothing. This is awesome. She's getting into the merch business as well. She's making a conglomerate and enterprises. She's doing what Carl Icahn has done. She's doing what Microsoft. She's doing what Berkshire Hathaway's done. She's doing what all these top 10 of the wealthiest have done. Create their own empires. Now, are we going to structure it a certain way? That's the multi-million-dollar question. Are we going to structure it with the holding company? A lot of people might be out here misunderstanding. The holding company is just a holding company. The operation LLC, or you can have a C Corp, but whatever. You can choose your spot. But your operation, your LLC or your C Corp, is the operation. The owner of the LLC is your holding company. The profits go up, profits go up to the holding company. Now, that structure doesn't have to be done right away. Let's call it what it is. So some people would say, well, I already have 2, 3, 4 LLCs. But just like your business agreement can be modified, it's the same thing. I can go out here and say, you know what? I'm going to form a new holding company. I can then do an interaction. I can say my holding company is buying these other companies. So therefore, they'll be under my holding company, even though my holding company might be just now formed, but it just bought it. And then you create your new articles, your new operation agreement saying this company, this holding company owns whatever. It could be 100%. It could be 60%. It could be 50% of the company. You got to be the major holder. You really want to be that. That's how you're a holding company. And so therefore, you just because you didn't start it early doesn't mean you can't start it later. But if you have a holding company, that creates value for your organization, just like the other guys I showed you at the top of the hour. The top 10 of the wealthiest in the world. Go to Investopedia. You can look it up yourself. And they all have holding companies. That's right. That's another thing they have in common. How about that? You can do what the big boys do, and it ain't even nothing. It's not that hard. Now, you might want to seek professional or legal advice on creating a holding company. Maybe, yes. You might want to have an accountant make sure, or financial advisors or somebody create that structure for you. Yes, that's true. Most people aren't going to feel comfortable creating it themselves, but it's going to be worth a few $1,000s to create it, because you're going to have revenue and profits coming in, and you want to be able to divert some of that money and not pay those high taxes, right? You personally don't want to be liable for taxes. And then you too will be able to say, you know what, I think I want to borrow against the company funds, or you will be able to do what the other guys can do and not even have stocks. All right, that'll be a whole nother story that I don't want to get into right now. But if Victor Marrero is here, he knows the executives that work at Chase. He knows they never show their wages generally, because he knows that what people are going to see is, they know that these guys get paid millions of dollars annually, and they're figuring out, how do these guys not have to pay taxes? Because they are borrowing. They have a borrow facility from the company. Oh yeah, you can borrow $1 million. They use their salary to pay it back. Guess what? They're not going to be paying taxes, or they're going to be minimized. Their bonus money, okay, they might have to pay a little taxes. But soon as you do that borrow arrangement, you can bypass tax liabilities. So that's why they never generally, the executives will generally not show their salaries and all it entails, because they don't really want to get you upset. They'd be like, wait a minute, this guy's getting paid $2.5 million a year, and you're telling me they're getting loans from the company, and then they're paying it back with their, what the frick's going on? Hey, all I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, you got to play the game if you want to be in the game. That's how it works. So keep all that in mind. Hopefully you had your pen, pad, and paper ready. All right, let's go. Here we are. Vanessa Comagate, facts. The poor will always be with us. Exactly, Georges Charles. Exactly. There's no way around that. You can't save everybody. That's how it pretty much works. Not everybody's trying to be saved either. Not everybody's trying to be successful. Not everybody's trying to be wealthy, rich, or even want to work. That's how simple this goes down to. And not everybody has the mental capabilities nor want to learn. That's just the nature of the beast. That's why there's always a top 10%. The top 10 always put in extra work. That's how they're the cream, rises to the top, no matter what industry. That's how it works. And you guys are right here amongst the cream. All right, Vanessa Comagate says that Georges Charles, facts, and poor mentalities as well. Exactly. Exactly, because a lot of people feel defeated. They feel they can't be successful. They can't make it happen because nobody they know has ever done anything. That's their excuse. I'm like, why don't you be the first then? Let's go for it. Come on. Come on for the ride. We'll show you how to do it. All right? You can come join us. You got to put in work, though. Work? What do you mean work? Yeah, it takes work to be successful. Okay, I'm going to come along for the ride. We've all, I don't know, I've been there. I've been there. Every time I start something, I try to bring the fellas or some fellas along with me. And we have a meeting. And I say, hey, you're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to do this. Do you guys agree? Because this is your skill set. So if you like to draw and can do advertising, then you're going to do the draw and advertising. You're going to do with advertising. If you're willing to design or do what we need to do, and you can actually manufacture something, then you're going to manufacture it. You're saying you can do all this. Let's go. Okay, this is what our payout's going to be. When we make profits, this is what we're going to share in the profits. Let's go. Show up day one. Out of 4 people, 3 guys show up. 1 guy that said he's down doesn't show up. Okay, now we have to alter. Okay, who's going to do what he was going to do? Okay, I'm going to do what he was going to do. I can actually do it. Okay. Then next day comes, we go order up some materials. Next day come the guy that says he was going to be down with doing this. Oh man, nah, man, my wife, my girlfriend, they say, we're not going to be making that much money at first. So I don't know if I want to do this. I should actually have a job. Okay. Guess that guy's gone. Now I have the last guy. He's sitting there like, hey, man, I'm still down. Okay, we still going. Let's make it happen. Open up stores, got things going. All of a sudden now it's like, okay, we got money coming in. Next thing you know, it's like, hey, man, I think I should get paid like another 20-30% more. I'm like, why? That wasn't our agreement. But we are making a little bit more money. Okay, so why not just 10% more? No, man, I don't think I should get paid that. I think we started this. It's successful. I said, yeah, we started it. I'm the head of all this. So yeah, we're still all partners and stuff in this, but what are you trying to say? He's like, no, I think I want to do my own thing. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, you want to do your own thing? Fine. Do your thing. There's no NDAs. There's no agreements that you can't even copy. Go for it. This is the kind of stuff I've dealt with in the past when we start talking about those mentalities, because it takes hard work. We don't get to just come out the gate making $10,000 a month profit. We're only making $500,000, $1,500 profits, $2,000 profits. It's just small stuff. You're not be able to do whatever, but that's when rent was only like $800 or a house note, $500. So it was enough to pay house note and get groceries. No problems. Pay bills. No problems. But because you're starting to see business start expanding, all of a sudden everybody starts, well, the remaining guy starts thinking, I'm good, I'm great, why do I need air? I can do this myself. I'm just like, okay, hasta la vista. I was just trying to bring you along. I didn't need any of you in their reality. I was just trying to get you guys going. So when we build this thing to $1 million or make $200,000 or $300,000, $400,000, we each can share like $100,000 profits. I was like, I'm trying to bring you along. All right, I'll go myself. Don't worry about it. Have a nice time. I gotta go. I gotta get busy now. I gotta do four to one. I gotta do it myself and get somebody else over here to help me. So those are the things and the lessons that you learn over time, that just because you start out and everything's doing fine, everybody's not on the same path. They don't want the same outcomes. They're looking for shortcuts. Some people, most people, a lot of people, quite frankly. All right. Victor Marrero, all the executives make most of their money through RSUs, restrictive stock units. And there it is, additional incentive compensation. These are just the gravy to their salaries. The system is rigged. Exactly right. See, he even gave you a little bit more of what they get to do. These restrictive stock units, and he's saying stuff that a lot of people don't even know about. You guys have to understand additional incentive compensation. And in that, those packages, they get to borrow against those. And then they claim a lower salary. They get to pay less in taxes because now they can say my salary, oh, it's just some of these stocks. Oh, no, see, it's just this incentive compensation stuff. And I'm actually borrowing against that. And I had to pay it back. They do all these tricks, all of it. Trust me, you want to be there, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we get you on the right train, get you to think about this. So later on, when I'm gone and you guys rarely see me and you're like, hey, wait a minute. I remember Eric telling me about when I had these 5 or 6 companies, maybe I should start doing something out here. Maybe I should change up, have this holding companies, make sure I got these guys down here. Maybe I start borrowing against my profits because I'm making nice profits here. Maybe I want to stop paying all these taxes because we make $300,000 or $400,000 a year in profits that rolls down to me, the owner. No, I don't want to pay $120,000 in taxes. No, I really don't. How can we bypass this? Financial advisor. Oh, you have this all set up perfectly. We just do a little tweaks. You'll be fine. We're going to cut this down to 40 G's a year. All right. So you'll be good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's just a little talk tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully I'll see you on Wednesday night at 8:50 p.m. for the Wealthy Wednesday night live stream, where members with the icon are the only ones that can be in the chat room. Everybody else you can watch, but only members with the icon can be in the chat room on Wednesday night. Members with the icon can also join me on screen anytime they want to and discuss any subject matter with all of us. And if you're shy about being on the screen, you can always just click your camera off and it'll automatically give you an emoji in its place. So therefore, just keep that in mind. So we have open door policies. And oh, by the way, I need to check something else. Maybe I have another announcement. No, I do not. So, you guys know Boogie Gopher Club. They had their thing the 7th through the 9th, 10th, or whatever. So I let a whole week go. I sent a message over to Micah from Boogie Gopher Club because you know his message on June 27th was, okay, after Miami, I'll come on lots of announcements in Miami. So I gave it a week after, and I did not hear from him so far. I sent that earlier this afternoon, Eastern time, 3:45 p.m. So Pacific time, 12:45, Eastern time, 3:45. If he's in Cyprus, because he owns a place in Cyprus, if he was in Cyprus, then that means it was probably somewhere around 3:45, 9, maybe around 9:45, 10 at night, I think. It should be somewhere around there. So he's a busy guy. Maybe he's asleep, maybe whatever. But we'll see if he responds tomorrow. So hopefully I'll have Micah on sometime in the next week or so or less. And we will discuss some of this love out here, right? We'll discuss some of this love about Boogie Gopher Club, see what is going on. I won't get into it anymore right now, but he can answer all the questions, and there's going to be more questions to answer because they're doing other things. So we're going to find out all about that, hopefully. All right. See you on Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be dropping another video tomorrow about not the wealthy talk, but similar items. So we got to get those assets. But I'll be dropping a video tomorrow. So hopefully you are in tune with some of the social media platforms. Down below at the very bottom of the description box, I have our social media platforms, the Instagrams, the Facebook groups, the Facebook page, the Telegram groups, and all that. Please sign up. Or if you haven't signed up for the email list, at the very bottom of the description box, sign up for the email list because they don't like sharing the videos. So therefore, I have to send out an email every time I upload videos, whether they're live streams or whether they're regular videos. I have to send it to whoever signs up on the email list. So then that way you guys know there's a video out. All right. That's how this is. We have 14,000 plus subscribers. Only roughly 2,000, a little under 2,000 subscribers receive a notification. They show us who receive them in the back office. All right. It's still 2,000, just so you know. So 12,000 people don't even know a video is uploaded. More people can't even find a video if you put in Stop Struggling Now sometimes. All right. So just keep all that in mind. So show some love, share the videos, and like, subscribe, and click the bell so you get the latest updates. And you guys know it's hard out here. So that's why we have to have these hard conversations. We got to get you thinking of ideas, just like the car wash came up. Just like the laundromat came up, all great businesses, great business ideas as well. If you can get one, take one. Storage units, if you can get those, get it. Same type of things. They're cash flow intensive with least amount of work. You're going to have to work, but at least it's not back-breaking work. And you can hire somebody to do some of the maintenance, which is the beauty of it. And you don't rely on cash that they actually have to handle. So when you have the cash collecting machines, when you actually have a person like a big car wash where it's indoors and people can sit inside, drink some coffee and all that, that's a whole different ballgame. You have to have employees for that. But if it's just one of those self-serve type car washes, laundromats and things like that, hey, it's beautiful. Some laundromats I've been in, they've had tailors in there. They've had dry cleaners in there. It's crazy what people can do and come up with, because that enhances extra revenue in their pockets. Beautiful. All right, Professor Auntie Val showing the love again and showing the strength in the heart. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody being here. And you guys know, stay out of trouble out here because it's hard. It's rough out here. You never know what's going to happen when you're out here in these streets. And I'm talking about in the streets, not virtual streets, but in the streets with all the crime, with all the people feeling a self of entitlement, not working, all these people saying, I'll just take. All these people, you just got to watch yourself out here. Just keep that in mind. And with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.